Now it's going, it looks like. I hope so. Go. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA. Searching the world for marketing news for you every day. And Restream is playing games. They've got a reputation for that. That's the only reason I haven't paid them enormous amounts of money, is because they keep playing games. It's tricky going from free to paid, right? You have to make it an easy ramp. I'm not opposed to paying for software. I pay for a lot of software. But, don't just shut off my channel, which is kind of what they're doing. And, I'll work within that. I posted a note on Twitter yesterday that I won't be live streaming anymore on Twitter, but you can get my show on YouTube Live and LinkedIn Live. So there you go. Plus, I feel like they're throttling me. I'm getting these red squares, and LinkedIn doesn't deal with it very well. YouTube deals with it fine. So just go over to YouTube and subscribe, and you'll get alerts better than LinkedIn probably. I don't have anything against LinkedIn. It just doesn't seem to work as well. Or it works more precisely. But YouTube can tolerate the muddiness. Okay, so let's get over to the news. And first, in honor of the U.S. Open, I'd like to play a piece about Serena Williams, who won in straight sets.
I've never been the right kind of woman. Oversized and overconfident. Too mean if I don't smile. Too black for my tennis whites. Too motivated for motherhood. But I'm proving, time and time again, there's no wrong way to be a woman.
Okay, so that's a Nike commercial from a few years ago. There was a montage of the best Serena Williams commercials. Great tennis star. I've been a tennis fan of hers since she started, and of her dad for getting the two girls involved in tennis at a local park and rec tennis courts with, broken blacktop and, bad nets and all that, but going with them all the time and teaching them to play tennis. And I really admire that. So when my girls were born, my oldest, I would whisper Wimbledon over her crib. I really did. I really did, honestly. And she made the tennis team. In my high school, that was a big deal because we had a pretty competitive sports program. My third daughter made all conference and was team co-captain, and they won the conference championship, with which our women's tennis hadn't done in years and years and years. And I think they went on to win state a couple of years later. They really set a pattern of excellence. That was a kind of a turnaround. And so very proud of the girls. I, too, take issue with the Nike commercial. There's no wrong way to be a woman. Not actually, women's tennis has it figured out. I mean, I got to give them credit. If you've noticed, there hasn't been any issues with men playing women's tennis, unlike the NCAA and other sports that have had enormous trouble, and the Olympics also, who have no standard for what it means to be a woman. It seems pretty self-evident. I think most women would agree. But part of the reason is because there was a men's pro tennis player who decided that he was going to play women's tennis. And you can see he has excellent fitness and muscular skeleton development. And he became Renee Richards. He's an ophthalmologist, been successful in life. But that was 1976. And in 1976, the Women's Professional Tennis Association decided that genetic test was the only legitimate answer, and they've stuck with that. And so it just hasn't been a conversation. And I think that's right. If one of the guys, my third daughter, she would play tennis with the boys tennis team players for fun, and she was better because of it. But she wasn't better than they were, and it was not. It was a big there was a big difference, right? So if I would have had that happen, I would have, I'm sure, objected. I hope others would have objected as well. Don't know. But so, though she says there's no wrong way to be a woman, well, not if you are a woman. I mean, that's the starting point, and I think that's a good one. So anyway, you may not agree. I hope you comment. Happy to have a polite conversation. We need more polite conversations on topics like this. And so now let's get over to the other news. And gotta get my stuff out of the way. I've been wanting to cover these two stories. Yahoo and OMG published a report a couple of weeks ago, and a couple of things were obvious. The time of day and day of the week were not all that significant. Didn't matter. Omnicom Media Group and Amplified Intelligence. Here was another one. 53% of all ad formats studied met viewability standard, which is pretty low. Viewability means it's readable on multiple platforms like your phone, your desktop, etc. So more than half, but only about half. And they achieved less than 1 second of active attention. Okay? This is identifying how customers view ads. The study shows that viewability and attention are not the same. Attention is human-driven by how the viewer responds to the ad on the screen, whereas viewability is a set of standards, device-driven determined. Okay, they had 128,000 mobile web advertisements categorized into 3 levels of attention, such as active, eyes on the ad, passive, eyes on the screen but not the ad, and non-eyes, not on the screen or the ad. Okay, that's pretty good sample set. Sounds like to me. They conducted it in U.S., Canada, United Kingdom, and Australia, so English-speaking countries. There was a lot of nuances. The human is the ultimate variable because it's impossible to know what is ignored and what gets the focus. And that's one of those things that mail trumps. And that is, you can't decide what to throw away unless you look at it. So we guarantee engagement. Not much engagement, but at least as much as most of the digital ads, right? Or more. More because you have to touch it. And your brain has 10 times more synapses for touch than it does for sight. So we win in that category also. Okay? Longer ads did better. Larger sizes did better. Gender didn't determine the amount of attention. The full or a bigger study is available over at wdma.org after the show. Let's get over to Gunderson, Jeff Tarrin's article. Excellent article, just super excellent. 4 steps to building online leads with direct mail. And you say, why would you want to generate leads with direct mail? Well, partly because there is that engagement. And so it complements online sales. Digital surrounds campaigns tied to your mail are shown to increase overall response by 15% or more. Direct mail, build your direct mail to communicate in a digital world. That means having a decent landing page, email, and other online communications and other best practices. Oh, before I go any further, Gunderson, on your website, you mentioned that you're members of the ANA and you're members of the NCDM. I think it's NCDM, North California, or it's DMNC. Yeah, I think that might be right. Northern California DMA. And no mention of the WDMA, which you are a member in good standing. So I suggest, ask, beg that you put the WDMA right next to there proudly. You are entitled to, and it helps us with the backlinks. When I was on the board back in the days when we really had a big deal going, and the internet was in its infancy, I suggested that the board members wanted to go hire some SEO people, and I said, well, how many of you have links to the WDMA? How many just say on your website, we're members of the WDMA? And none of them did. And we all put it on there, and suddenly we were ranked higher than Chicago. That was our major goal, and we were on page 3 or something, and they were on page 6. So that was so. Members of WDMA, get that little logo on there. I can help you with it if you need to. Okay, so how do you connect? There is a problem. There is a problem because direct mail faces an inherent disadvantage, and I don't talk about this much, and I hadn't really thought about it much. But recipients can't respond directly to a letter or postcard. You can't take a mailer, like this one here. This one's for the Print United show, and I criticized this a little bit because they only had one response place, which is right here, which is decent. But you can't respond to it unless you hold it up to your phone. There's no way to directly get this into your computer except the QR code, and that's a good thing. It's good that they put the QR code on there. However, they also have a nice landing page or whatever. They have a nice URL, printingunited.com. So it matches the name of the show, and that's pretty good too. And so there isn't a direct way, but there is a pretty direct way, which is the QR code. You can scan it. They don't mention PURLs, which are vanity URLs, so that you could put johnmiglosh.printingunited.com, and you could take me right to a landing page where my name and address and everything are filled right in. They didn't do that. That's in case you want to type. I'm amazed sometimes that there isn't a way, and maybe there is. If you know of it, let me know, to take this QR code and hold it up to my camera, which I do have connected to my computer, and get it into my real computer, because I don't do much on my phone. I would never want to register for a conference on my phone and have it all filled in poorly. Now, we actually have a product that's a hybrid of those two things, and we're talking to Gunderson a little bit about it. But that product creates a personal URL QR code, so that when you click it with your phone, it knows who you are and populates that, because we know who you are from the mailing list. So not only can we put your address on it, right? Here's your address. Not only can we do that, but we can put a special link. The consumer doesn't even need to see the link. It just looks like a QR code. So it's not creepy. But when you go there, it says, "Hi, John, this is you." And it's all filled in. And so it makes the registration process much more seamless, even if you don't like typing on your phone, which I don't. Okay? And that's something that not many mailers are doing. But if you'd like more information on that, give Mike Gunderson a call. Say, "Hey, what about that WDMA thing that John was mentioning? What?" And then he'll have to call me. Anyway, that'd be funny. So, call to action, really important. And the QR code is one way to get that done, right? Now, interestingly, this QR code is probably not from the scanner. It's probably one that you can scan. Like I tried, True Value sent me my local True Value sent me an email coupon, and it took like 5 minutes for that cashier to figure out how to work it. And finally, they just put in my real number and manually gave me the $5. It totally didn't work. And I don't know what the problem was, but it was, don't tie up your retailers with bad QR codes that are delivered to the phone. Send them a postcard, it'll work. Okay, informed delivery is getting used more. I'm starting to see clickable links in informed delivery, and I'm not against it. You get a postal discount for using it. So I think you also get a postal discount for using personal URLs. I'm not sure about personal QR codes, which is kind of, like I said, emerging technology. Okay, GPS technology is a way to, when they're close to your store, you can like, I get lots of ads on WhatsApp, or not on WhatsApp, on Waze, and see that. So A lot of big suggestions here, a lot of great examples. You know, Jeff does a super job on explaining his points, but I can't get into all of that because we're going too long. So give Jeff a call at Gunderson Direct. Ask him about the personal QR codes. It's not trivial. Like, we were doing a multi-sheet campaign with 1 million pieces, and there were 50 sheets in each piece, which meant that there were 50 million personal URLs or personal QR codes. So, you know, it's not for the faint-hearted necessarily, but we do have that technology all in place and ready to go for you if you're interested in testing it. So that's enough for today. I'm John Miglosh. Like and share. Oh, don't forget, if you're up in Minneapolis, I'm coming up next week from this Thursday, the 8th, I think it is, of September. We're going to meet in Minnetonka. Meet me in Minnetonka. Anyway, and then the next week or so, I'm going over to Namoa, and on Wednesday, yeah, it's just a week later, we're going to Boston. We're going to meet in Boston. So if you're going to be at Namoa, shoot me a note, and we'll get together. It turns out Wednesday, they sort of moved the cocktail party back to Thursday. So Wednesday, we're going to meet at 6 o'clock in the lobby and just have a beer and talk direct marketing. So it ought to be good, and we don't infringe on the show because it hasn't really started yet. But if you're like me and booked your ticket for Wednesday, so I'm getting there at like 9 in the morning. I got the whole day. So, you know, I'll have a relaxed day in Boston. Because I didn't read the schedule, and I just assumed it would be like always, which it isn't. Have a great day. Like and share. I got some shares yesterday. If you get to this point in the show, you definitely want to share it because, you know, we sucked you in again. Bye-bye.